This media is brought to you by Polyscope.
In the realm of tomorrow, where techniques mind, we ponder, we dream.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to ThinkFuture. My name's Chris Kalaboukis, and once again, we're coming at you live from deep in the heart of Silicon Valley, California. We're talking technology, philosophy, the future, not necessarily those, and not necessarily in that order. If you're watching on YouTube, smack that subscribe button and hit that bell so you can be notified when a new show comes online. And if you're listening on your favorite podcast service, please subscribe and please drop a note on Apple Podcasts. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Now, I've been away for a bit. You probably are wondering, what happened to you, Chris? Where are you? Well, for a while there, I was traveling in Japan. And then after that, we had the U.S. elections, which, filled up the news waves so much that what would be the point of doing any shows? I mean, nobody would watch them because all that people cared about was politics. That's one of those interesting things about politics, right? Is that there's people who are into politics all the time. All the time. That's all they talk about. All the time throughout the entire cycle of their lives. But most people, most normal individuals, the vast majority of us, well, I'm a libertarian, so I do talk about politics more often. But the vast majority of individuals only think about politics right around election time, which I think is incredibly wrong because the problem with politics is that you can be done with it. You can be done with politics. You don't want. Let's say you're not interested in politics. Let's say you want to be apolitical, and you don't want to talk about Trump, and you don't want to talk about Harris. You don't want to talk about candidates. You don't want to talk about parties. You don't want to talk about anything else. But the problem with that is that you can be finished with politics. You can say to yourself, that's it. I don't want to talk politics. I want to be apolitical. But the problem is that politics is never finished with you because the acts of these individuals and these parties and these organizations affect all of us. We're all affected by what happens during these elections. So it behooves us to want to know a little bit more about what's going on out there. And we should be educated about these parties. We should be educated about the policies. We should make informed decisions about who should do what. Now, everyone knows that Trump won the election. And Elon Musk, who ran X, and of course everyone knows who he is, took a huge, maybe a risk in some people's view, and affiliated himself with Trump very strongly after that first assassination attempt. And it seems as if he's going to have a huge role in the administration as part of something that was memed into life. I still think this is hilarious. The Department of Government Efficiency, or DOG, or DOGE, is supposed to go in and cut government programs. And people are wondering, so what is going to be the effect of all this? Now, the thing is that I love Elon. I mean, I think he's great. I think the stuff he's done is fantastic. And I think it's really, he's really moving the human race forward. And he's a techno-optimist. And I think he's a great guy. I think he's doing good things. However, on the AI front, I think sometimes he's not as much of an accelerationist as I think he should be. Because personally, I'm an accelerationist. I want to see things move forward. I want superhuman AI. I want AI that's better than us, because otherwise, what's the point? Why would we build AI that's just as good as humans? We've got plenty of humans around. We don't need more humans. We've got plenty of humans who can do human work. So we shouldn't be building AI to do human work. We should be building AI to do superhuman work, to tackle the problems that we can't figure out, right? That goes beyond what we can do. And some of the communications I've noticed from him on AI are a little tentative when it comes to that sort of thing. And I'm concerned that having Elon with somebody who he's sort of an accelerationist in some ways, but when he's not that much of an accelerationist when it comes to AI, having him in as part of the administration might end up curbing things. Now, if you're a long-time listener of the show, then you're familiar with my concept of do-its and should-we's, right? And the do-its, should-we's concept is that if you ask me, you can split, of course you can split the world into many different kinds of people. But when it comes to innovation and when it comes to optimism and technology in the future, you can really split them into two groups. And one group is called the do-its, and the other group is called the should-we's. There's a simple metric here. The do-its are the ones who want to try something to see if it's possible, no matter what the consequences. Where the should-we's are the ones who are always asking themselves, should we do this? So I'll give you an example. I want to live forever. I want to be immortal. I mean, what's wrong with wanting to be immortal? And I want to undertake whatever I need to do in order to have that long lifespan. I want great longevity. I want to live to 100, to 200, to 300. I would love to live to 1,000 if I could. So I'm all about longevity. And I think we should try whatever we can. Everything from cloning body parts to what the transhumanists are talking about, to mentally uploading ourselves into machines, to be able to extend our lifespan. We should try everything. Some of it might work, and some of it might not work. And that's what do-its do. They say, let's give it a try. Let's envision it and try it to see if it works. But the should-we's are the opposites. The should-we's are the ones that sit back and think these sort of mental experiments, these thought experiments, about what would happen if we made ourselves live forever, a really long time, or 100 years, 200 years, 300 years. And they go, should we? Let's think about if we should before we do. And I think everybody who's on that, in that second camp, in the should-we's, those are the ones that are holding back the future of humanity. The should-we's are the ones who are sitting back and thinking about, should we do this? And deciding, maybe not. I mean, I went to a seminar once where people said that, well, the thing about humanity, like, what is it to be human? What does it mean to be human? And they say part of the meaning of being human is that we have a limited time on this planet. We have, 60 to 80 to 100 years, tops, 120 years, absolute top. And some physicians, some people in the health field say, well, in longevity field say, yes, that's our top number. We can't get beyond that. But I disagree with that. I say, let's see if we can. Let's try it. Let's do it and see if we can get there. Not just say, well, this is probably not something that we should be doing. And that's what the difference is between the do-its and the should-we's. We have the people who just want to try it to see if it can be done. And we have the others on the other side going, let's think about whether we even should do this. It's almost like it's an ethicist question. So if you ask me, Elon, sometimes when it comes to AI, he falls on the should-we side. Like, should we have AI superintelligence? And from my perspective, I say, absolutely. Absolutely. Let's at least give it a shot. And I think the concern of the should-we's is that if we try to build AI superintelligence, then AI superintelligence will just take over and it'll be the end of the world. Terminator style. Just like in Terminator 2 or Terminator 1 or whatever movie it was where Skynet took over. So that's a little bit of my concern on that. But I think that hopefully in the end, the techno-optimists will win and we'll realize that what we're trying to do with the expansion of technology, with AI, with generative AI, with all of this work that we're trying to do, we are trying to lift the burdens of the human race. We are trying to lift the problems off our shoulders because we have a lot of problems. And if we could build AI that could think about these things and help us think through these things, because if you think about it, one of the problems we have is that we have a limited scope of what we can think about. But AI could have an unlimited scope of how it could put things together to come up with solutions for problems. But we just have to let it run. We have to invent the AI superintelligence, then let it run against our problems and see what kind of solutions it can come up with. I wouldn't be surprised if it can come up with brilliant solutions that we've never even thought about if we just let it run. So my concern is, let's hope that with this new administration and Elon's reluctance to go all out on AI, it doesn't stop us from being do-its when it comes to the future of humanity. That's it for me for today. See you next time, and until then, don't forget to think future.
Pixels and philosophies merge and mold, a future untold, unseen.